When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Happy Sunday evening to everybody watching out there on the YouTube channel. This is the Icon Cup Series racing on Sim Racing Media. We're at Dover for tonight's race. Race number 21 on the Icon Cup Series schedule. Kind of getting towards the end of the regular season. As always, I'm Shane Cochran here with SRM, and in the booth with me is Alan Bergen. Alan, how you doing?
I am doing so great right now. Look, man, this is going to be... First of all, let's state two things. One, I'm happy to be making, left turns again. And two, it's the Monster Mile. Who's going to conquer Monster the Mile? Or Miles the Monster, right? Is it going to be, the Brian Smith out of Buddy Motorsports? Or is it going to be like Zach Lockett? Or, any one of these drivers has a legitimate shot here at winning. You're going to have to take care of those tires in that race car. So the trouble spots for me, Shane, are going to be turn 2 and turn 4. Because that wall will reach out and grab you, and then monsters will eat you up and spit you out against an inside wall.
Absolutely, yeah. I think turn 2 is the one that always gets me. And getting here to Dover, we're coming off of a couple road courses. Last week we were at Sonoma in wine country, and it all came down to the final lap. Pole sitter Nathan Finnegan locked up the front tires on lap 1, dropped all the way to 14th, but he was make his way back into the top 5 by the end of stage 1 and the top 3 by the end of stage 2 and into the lead during the final stage. While Brian Smith and Jacob Smith both flipped stage 1, it was Nathan Brzezowski staying out to collect that stage win. Jacob would lead most of stage 2 before collecting that win in stage 2, and then his night would ultimately be decided by a pit road speeding penalty, though, towards the end. And so it was Brian Smith topping Nathan Finnegan and Michael Taylor there to win at Sonoma. As we are getting ready here, looks like warm-up and qualifying have both wrapped up. We're going to jump down, take a look at our field tonight. Everybody getting lined up on pit road. We are going to debut a new scrolling grid for you tonight. P1 is going to be Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan on the outside of that front row. Oh, and I said we were debuting. We're trying out some new graphics. Pardon the interruption there. Get this grid.
That was a good show.
It just a bit. Yeah, the whole overlay just went down. Give me a second to reset it. As we get rolling off, we're going to read it through until the overlay comes back. Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan on the front row. John McNeil, Jake Champion, 3rd and 4th. Bentley Glazer and Braxton DeWeese on row 3. Charlie Widener, Zach Lockett, row 4. Nathan Brzezowski and Ethan Van Colley, row 5. Jacob Smith, Adam Ball there. And then Jake Roll, Evan Patinko, Brad Delph, Kyle Purcell, Mike Grinnell, Jake Gladelich, Sean Purcell, Anthony Tizio, back in 21st, then Charlie Woods, Ryan Patty, Cody Neal, Patrick Colby, Cody Eldred, Kyle Diaz, Robert Bloom, and it looks like Hanover Fist did not make the starting grid. Maybe he'll jump in here out of the pits, and that would put 29 drivers on the grid.
But nonetheless, 29 cars here to take the green flag.
Brian Smith going to comfortably drop down in front of Nathan Finnegan to get this race started at the Monster Mile. Right away, this track has 3 or 4 lanes visibly, but the entrance and exits of the corner really only have 2 viable lanes. You don't want to get stuck 3 wide, and you really don't want to be 2 wide either.
No, absolutely not.
Look like our overlays have decided to wake back up. That's good news.
That's all right. Look, we're trying to get to lap 60 or 75 rather. That's going to be the end of stage 1 here tonight. And then 100 lap 150, 240 laps. We're definitely going just over halfway in the actual cup race that was won by Denny Hamlin in the progressive car. Shane, we were talking off air this afternoon about how tricky this track is going to be for these guys, and how the tire management. Now, we saw in the real world today what we saw in our respective league races here, as these restarts and starts on cold tires could be really tricky.
Yeah, we had a league last night where both drivers on the front row spun their tires and caused a wreck right at the start of the race, so we were a little nervous about it. But the Icon guys got it rolling pretty quick, as now Nathan Finnegan has taken the lead away from Brian Smith and starting to gap the rest of the field behind him, as Bentley Glazer is now on the bumper of Smith, thinking about taking P2.
It's side-by-side action here in the middle of the field, right around Braxton Deweese and Charlie Widener. We got Jonathan Duncan looking to the inside of Evan Patinko there. He is this. I mean, look, Evan and John have just been essentially duking it out here. But these guys have really come on strong this whole season.
Yeah, looking good. Duncan with Dragonfly Motorsports, or sorry, Dragonfly Racing, along with Patrick Colby and Robert Loon. We'll see where they're running right now. All of them moving forward. So now 8 laps in. Driver's starting to settle in. Oh, somebody in the wall. Who was that? The 15 of Anthony Tizio. Looks to be okay. You know, with these next-gen cars, you never know if you're going to hit the wall with a body panel that's pretty sturdy or tap that steering linkage into the wall and just blow the toe link. It's kind of a 50-50 shot when you get up into the wall like that. So far, it looks like Jake Roll is the driver who has moved up the most. 6 positions gained. He's running in the top 10. Got a handful of other drivers moving up through the field. Cody Neal up 5 positions. Make that 6. But he is back in 18th.
Cody Neal out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, being shown right now in the 18th position out of Buddy Motorsports. You know, we got a good mixture of race cars here, you know, scattered throughout the field. But how about John McNeil? Good luck last week, and here he is, running in that 4th position there in Adrenaline Racing, just buying his time. You know, making the tires happy. John McNeil, driver out of Thatcher, Arizona.
Right now, Alan, everyone just seems pretty content to ride wherever they are. Dover is a track where you have to take care of your tires early in the run to have any chance at passing someone later in the run. As we saw in the real-life race today, I mean, there's a lot of aero push to that second car. So when you get up to pass someone, you kind of have to be very deliberate about giving yourself clean air, getting into a different lane in the corner so that you can keep your momentum and then get around them.
Absolutely. Here's where we're watching John McNeil. And, you know, I like that line that he's running. Not doing anything egregious. As we are on board with him right now. I mean, he's running 5th gear. Now, for me, I was shifting the whole time on Saturday afternoon when I ran a league race here.
You could see him running about a half lane lower than Glazer in front of him. There's really kind of 2 philosophies to this track. There's the one McNeil is running where you, well, at least he was before, you kind of hug that seam and you only give the car as much gas as you can without leaving the bottom. And I think that's the way to maybe save tires on the longer run. The other philosophy is to dime in the corners. You dive in low and then use the banking to help slow the car down mid-turn. You drift up a little bit and then cut the exit off coming down. That gives you a little more momentum on the straights when you're trying to complete a pass. Saw Alex Bowman using that all day today.
I like how John McNeil's car is the 48. Alex Bowman's car is the 48. Kind of the correlation there. I love it. But, you know, right now, everybody just kind of content riding around, feeling these cars out, getting you know, I feel like this first stage is getting there, learning what the car is capable of doing, and we slowly ramp up that, you know, that with aggression rate.
Yeah, and here comes Deweese around Jake Champion. Deweese up 3 spots so far.
Yeah, 18 laps in the history books. Deweese up into the top 5, 3 spots from where he started from. I kind of like it. Everybody else, you know, next week, Shane, we're going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, IMS, one of the most iconic tracks on the circuit here, for 96 laps. So I think, you know, I think we're done road racing for at least a couple of weeks.
That's right. And I think Dover is just kind of one of the bread and butter track in the NASCAR style. And Indianapolis, a very unique one, very technical, even though it's just kind of 4 90-degree turns. It's one of the hardest tracks to really hit the perfect line on for a full lap, in my experience. So that should be exciting. We're looking through Jonathan Duncan continuing to move forward up 2 spots from the start of the race.
Absolutely. Like right now, it's been Nathan Finnegan all day, every day here up at the top of the pylon. You know, I feel like week in and week out, we say it week in and week out, Shane. Nathan Finnegan and Brian Smith can just not get away from each other. They're always there running 1-2. They put on a heck of a show last week at Sonoma. I don't expect anything less here tonight.
And just like that, we're on lap 23. We're just about 10% done here. These green flags go real quick here at the Monster Mile. And while we have a minute to talk about the league, there's one of the greatest things about iRacing community and a league community here like Icon is that people are always looking to help each other. Right now, there is a member of the Icon family, Waylon Turner, is down on his luck, going through a rough time with his family. He and his wife, Ariel, are currently struggling to find a family car, and they're staying with family as Waylon lost his job at FedEx recently. So they are asking for any donations that anyone in the Icon family is willing to give to help them out as they try to get through this string of bad luck. Here we've got a QR code that's going to be on the screen for the rest of the race. If you are interested in giving to the Turner family, you can use that to do so. There's also a link to his GoFundMe in the video description below if the QR code doesn't work for you. I just wanted to mention that. Waylon not racing with us the last couple of weeks, as I know he's going through a tough time, and iRacing certainly not the highest priority for him and his family right now, but we wish him the best of luck. And again, anyone willing to give towards the Turner family, we appreciate it.
There's that QR code like you mentioned. Every little bit helps, especially in a situation as we are 26 laps into the history books here. Jacob Smith right now down 11 spots in the wrong direction. You know, it's in a race like this, it's not about where you start, but about where you finish.
Yes. I mean, Smith has been working his way forward. It's just been kind of a steady climb there. I'm not sure how he got so far back in the field. Like I said, I think I had him starting 10th. And he's back in 21st.
I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat. They're trying to improve any again.
Oh, we know they always are.
But hey, on a good note, Chris Luis is hoping that everybody had a great weekend, and I feel like that is Braxton's crew chief, and well, you know, Chris, Braxton is doing very well. Riding out in the top 4. You know, right behind Bentley Glazer and that number 87 car.
Yeah, like I said, everybody here up front just kind of towing the line. You gotta wonder who's been saving tires. Remember, our race is 240 laps. We do have a stage coming at 75 and 150. We got, I believe, 4 sets of tires. And then, as usual, 60% fuel here in the Icon Cup Series. So that puts my best guess of the fuel window to be somewhere between 52 and 55 laps. So we're about halfway there now. And I can't imagine you're going to want anything other than full tires and a full tank every time you hit pit road.
You do better math than I do.
We throw our track map up there. As you can see, Nathan Finnegan with a 2.5 lead ahead of everyone behind him, but he is also a little over half a lap ahead of the cars at the back of the pack right now. It looks like Robert Bloom is kind of off pace, about a second off the pace of the rest of the field. Not sure if he had some issues or got into the wall or something. You can see the car just looks tremendously tight there for the Tim Hortons 11 car. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the race continues. That battle between Glazer and DeWeese starting to heat up. Braxton going to take it away. Up to third.
And that there is making Chris DeWeese happy. Chris DeWeese is his father and his biggest supporter, and unfortunately Braxton won't let Chris make any calls. I mean, at this point, I think Braxton's got it. You know, Braxton probably has a good idea what he's doing.
Yeah, we've got Duncan and Brzezowski going head to head, side by side, and they've been this way for about a lap and a half. Ooh, just the slightest bit of contact there as Duncan slides up. Now he's going to get in behind that 77 car. I don't think he's done yet, Alan.
I don't.
Cody Neal in the 38 continues his charge towards the front. He's now up to 13th. That should be, I think, a gain of 11 positions from where he started the night.
You know, something about Braxton DeWeese in the YouTube.com live chat. Braxton's going to be making his real world racing start on Labor Day weekend at Winchester Speedway in Indiana in a Thunder Roadster. I don't know what that is, what kind of car that is, but it's going to be his first time ever in the real world racing world, I believe.
A little further back in the pack, this is a battle for 15th. Patinko and Purcell, Kyle Purcell.
Here's the thing about iRacing and the real world, right? So, and when my brother started driving as his crew chief, I told him, night one, the goal was to run all the laps. Don't do anything crazy or stupid. Just let's put it on the trailer the same way it came off.
Not a bad way to start it. I've been pretty impressed with these drivers here in the Icon Cup Series here at Dover. Would have expected a lot more, not necessarily wrecks, but just a lot more contact with the wall as these tires are probably getting pretty worn out for these drivers.
Look at Cody Neal in that 38 car there. I know we were focused up on him earlier, but he is now up 13 spots. That's the car I'm watching. He doesn't really do anything egregious. He just happens to be there at the end, and he's really good at taking care of his stuff. Now you see a couple of drivers venturing out to that outside line, and then you're going to start to see where the wall is going to reach out and grab you.
Oh, I think Roll just had pretty heavy contact. You see he's checked up. And it looks like he's going to bring it to pit road, or at least try to get out of the way. Yeah, he's coming down pit road now. And driver is going to have to be careful with that pit entry. It is a little bit kind of it pulls you in, and you think you've got it down to the pit road speed, and then you can be over a couple miles an hour at the last second. Looks like Robert Bloom has also come to pit road. We saw him struggling earlier in that 11th car. He's picked up a meatball.
Oh, a meatball.
I didn't see any contact, but
where would he have gotten a meatball flag from?
Let's see if we can go back. Looks like it happened on lap 40. Take a look back. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. That one's going to be a mystery to me.
I don't know.
Now, Anthony Tizio has come to pit road as well.
Are we just set off on our...
I don't know. You know,
no.
Like I said, I think the fuel window is in the 50s, but if you know the stage is coming at 75, you probably want to split it a little more evenly to take advantage of tires. But coming down early, a big risk here at Dover. You're going to go at least one lap down, maybe more. It looks like John McNeil is maybe off the pace. He looks fine to me. I'm not sure the overlays are working at full strength here tonight, Alan. We're getting a lot of alerts and things that don't seem too accurate. So let's take it all with a grain of salt. McNeil
almost like the other night.
In fourth.
As I said, it's almost like Friday night when Iracing just threw us an absolute curveball at 90 miles an hour.
And here comes Nathan Finnegan, the leader down pit road. He's led 45 laps so far tonight. Brian Smith going to stay out. And just like that, you can see Smith is putting him Finnegan a lap down already. So even if you're the leader, you are at risk of losing a lap when you pit. And that's why I think most drivers are opting to run this as long as they can. Maybe try to catch a caution. As now Brian Smith, Braxton Deweese, and Bentley Glazer are the top three. They continue on. There's a little bit of a battle back here. We've got Duncan and Widener, and then just behind them, Cody Neal going under Brzezowski. Still Bassani. We've seen Brzezowski putting up a fight all night long when the driver gets to his inside. He is not going to give it up too easy. As Neal's
well, I can tell you, I can tell you one thing here, Shane. We're not going to have a rainstorm with 15 to go.
I hope not.
Oh.
Yeah, these three battling hard as Neal got ahead of Brzezowski, and then Ryan Patty going around the outside gives a huge head of steam and then comes up on Neal very quickly. Patty up 13 positions, Neal up 15. These guys are moving forward. And they are the biggest movers of the race. Both of them now in the top 10. Now Ethan Van Colley and Jacob Smith have hit pit road.
And there it is, first caution of the day.
Oh, it looks like Tizio. Go back and take a look at this. He is in that black and gold car running the bottom of the track. Oh, it was Eldred that got loose and caused a stack up. Go back and see that again. Try it from the blimp cam here. You can see that 32 car just up ahead. Oh, he and the 74 could get together, and then Tizio into the back of the 74. Not really any hard contact with the wall. That should be repairable, but he's going to lose a lap because of it too. That's the most painful part. And there it is, first caution of the night. Just about everybody coming to pit road, except for, it looks like Finnegan's going to stay out. He may have been the lucky dog, either the lucky dog or he is going to stay out and take a wave around. We talked about how risky it is to pit early in case a caution does come out. Yeah, I believe Nathan Finnegan is the lucky dog there.
Nathan Finnegan to get his lap back.
Cody Neal now up 18 positions to 6th. That might need an update here as they come around back to the start-finish line. I think he's in 6th. Riding there behind Jonathan Duncan. Let's look at Neal's night so far. It looks like he actually went with 2 tires there on that last stop under caution. His first stop of the day. Actually, it looks like, well, we take a look at the top 10 drivers and what their strategy was here on these last stops. It looks like most drivers up at the front took 2 tires. That's how they got there. Widener took fuel only. He might have already gotten some tires earlier. Either way, a quick stop for Widener. That puts him up to 3rd. And then DeWeese, the first driver on 4 tires. So we'll keep an eye on that 8 car and see if 4 tires gives him an advantage over those 2 tire drivers in front of him. Either way, Brian Smith is going to lead John McNeil, Zach Lockett, Charlie Widener back to the green flag. A great jump. Oh, we got cars going sideways.
There it is.
Kyle
The big one.
Purcell stopped right in the middle of the track. Nowhere for Kyle Purcell to go. Or, sorry, Sean Purcell caught up in that. We're going to go back, take a look at what happened. We'll watch at regular speed here. Watch that 01 car. So race gets going. Oh, it was actually, oh, there was a checkup ahead of him. It looked like maybe Duncan, but that was a couple car lengths out. And Ryan Patty's right on his bumper, getting ready to go. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe the 01 missed a shift. Yeah, I don't know. Let's jump on board with Kyle here and see if we can hear anything. Oh, he just spun him when he got up in the RPM range. And we talked about that. That was something we saw in some other races earlier in the weekend. And he says it right there. If I crash, blame Fruit Snacks. So I think Fruit Snacks is on the hook for this one.
What? No. Fruit Snacks is not on the hook.
We might need some help from the YouTube live chat to let us in on maybe the inside joke of what Fruit Snacks is or who Fruit Snacks is.
Look, they're still trying to free Vinny.
Well, we don't want to distract them then.
That's what they're focused on. They don't give a rat's patoot who to blame for this one. Even though it says Fruit Snacks. I don't think we need to blame Fruit Snacks.
Yeah, just taking a look at Adrenaline Racing. They've got 2 drivers here in the top 5 right now, as do Buddy Motorsports. Those are the teams to beat here tonight. $60 laps in the books. We've got stage coming at lap 75.
Just 15 laps to go in stage number 1.
That pace truck going around this monster mile. It's going to be 1 to green now as everyone's getting lined up. Nathan Finnegan going to restart here in 17th. Again, we mentioned he did decide to short pit the fuel window, which would probably be the smarter play if the stage had gone green. But he did take 4 tires back around lap 48. And you can see how that dropped him down, and then these cautions have just kept him from being able to make his way back up through the field as the pit cycle never came to save him.
No, absolutely not. But as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here, just want to mention, Waylon Turner going through a rough time right now. Please scan the QR code. Every little bit helps. Give a little bit here, maybe a little bit there. Every little bit helps. So you bring the field to the Geico restart, Echo Park restart zone. Wow. Echo Park restart zone. Brian Smith, John McNeil on the front row. We're back to green flag racing.
Man, Echo Park all over the place. I didn't know they snagged all the restart zones.
I guess they did.
There is Glazer going under Charlie Widener, now trying to get under John McNeil. Some great racing here. Multiple cars side by side as there's Ryan Patty gives a bump to Jake Champion. And again, there are some different tire strategies playing out here in the top 10. Bentley Glazer already up to second. Those 4 tires really working for him. Brian Smith pulling away again. Glazer now, I think he just turned the fastest lap of the race, 23.84. McNeil still holding down P3, with Ryan Patty is pushing the issue here. He's going to look inside of the 48.
There he goes. It's going to be a move for third. He's going to make it stick.
There he goes, and you got Champion now stuck underneath Evan Patinko, who's trying to get around his outside, and Braxton DeWeese behind them. looks like that.
There goes.
Oh, go ahead.
Say, there goes Braxton Luis to the inside.
Yeah, that two-tire strategy is not working out for really anyone, as now Glazer has gone to the lead around Brian Smith. Everyone on 2 tires drifting back through the field. Widener, who went fuel only, he's back in 10th now. And we are seeing the value of fresh tires here at the end of stage 1. Specifically 4 fresh tires. Really adding some speed. Ryan Padding now up to 3rd. He is going to work his way around Brian Smith now. And you don't have to look too much further back to find Nate Finnegan as DeWeese gets around Patinko in front of him. Finnegan up 11 spots from the start of this last green flag. And he is on 4 fresh tires, but they're older than everyone else because he had pitted before the caution and got the lucky dog to get back on the lead lap.
6 laps to go to end stage number 1. Who's going to take the stage? Will it be Bentley Glazer, who's got a half-second advantage, or 1 second advantage over Ryan Patty?
Brian probably hoping just to finish this thing out and get some fresh rubber on that car. John McNeil all the way back to 10th. And Cody Neal. Just everybody who took 2 tires is feeling it, drifting backwards. Make sure everybody writes that down in their crew chief notebook for later, as Jonathan Duncan works around Charles Woods. That's for 16th. Oh, and here's somebody in the wall back there. I think it's Tizio. He is off pace. Looks like
Tizio's night Tizio's night just went from bad to worse.
He's already 3 laps down. You can see the damage on that right front fender. Brian Smith under fire from more drivers with 4 tires. Braxton DeWeese going to move around into 3rd. And Nathan Finnegan up to 5th, looking for 4th. Looks like Kyle Diaz might have lost some speed here. Oh, I think he's just blinking a little bit. Or a lot of it. Finnegan now up to P4. Patinko under fire from a couple of drivers here. Adam Ball gets around. Champion looking to the outside. Brad Delph is right behind him.
Glazer's going to win the stage.
And there you have it. Bentley Glazer takes the stage win here in stage 1. And with that, we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break and be back with more Sunday night action here with the Icon Cup Series at Dover on SRM. And welcome back. SRM coverage of the Icon Cup Series here at Dover in the Dover 240. We just finished up stage 1. Saw Bentley Glazer win that stage with the help of 4 fresh tires under a pit stop caution just before that. And Glazer going to lead them back. Oh, Ryan Patty into the outside wall, collects Brian Smith. More cars. Contact back in the field. No caution. There it is.
There it is.
And they were holding it together. Looks like Charles Woods involved. But Ryan Patty was where it started. Looks like he's going to be the second victim of those rear tires spinning here on a restart. We'll go back and take a look at that. You can see he just gets into the wall just in front of Deweese. And then I think by then Deweese goes to the inside, but Patty is being forced to swerve. He comes down and collects Brian Smith. And from there, the whole field starts checking up. Delph into Woods. Eldred gets in there. And then Ryan Patty again. I just think his car is not under his control at this point. Back across the nose of Deweese. And then Delph. The 85 get into it. Cody Neal sneaks by on the outside, and then the rest of the field is left to fend for themselves here. Everybody doing a pretty good job to limit the contact at least. Let's go back and maybe jump on board with Brian Smith, see what he sees here. Just no time to react, nowhere to go. And we'll jump in the cockpit with Ryan. And see, it's the same. Yeah, just the same thing as those RPMs get up. Just a little bit too much horsepower and torque. And then, yeah, everybody trying to check up. He's just trying to get out of the way. Really unfortunate for everybody involved in that one. We got Brian Smith, Braxton Deweese, Jacob Gladelich, Jacob Smith, and Brad Delph all on pit road, I assume, for damage related to that one. Going to be our third caution for cause here on lap 80. Bentley Glazer remains the leader. Now with Nathan Finnegan in P2 just behind him. Adam Ball in third. Jake Champion fourth. And Evan Patinko round out the top 5. We're going to be 1 to go. And we're going to remind everyone again that we do have a member of the Icon family going through a rough time, Waylon Turner. If you don't know him as a driver, you might know him for his paint schemes. I know he helps out a lot of the drivers here in the league with some fire paint schemes. Again, if you are able and willing to give to the Turner family, you can do so with QR code at the top of the screen or through the GoFundMe link in the video description below. As that pace truck pulls down onto pit road one more time. Bentley Glazer and Nathan Finnegan going to lead them back. And there it is. Green flag's out. Glazer with a healthy jump. Looks like everyone keeping it straight this time. Nate Finnegan going to drop into second position. And all the way back to about 7th position before they are side by side. Jonathan Duncan and Cody Eldred are battling here, and Brzezowski really throws it in. Gets underneath Charlie Widener. That's for 11th.
You know, I like how they're just really single filed out right now as we start stage 2. No, now we've had 75 laps to learn what our cars are going to do. Now I feel like these guys are going to start racing a little more.
Yeah, as we're now about a third of the way through the race, already had a lot of drivers having to make repairs. So we take a look at some of those stats. Robert Bloom put together 18 minutes of repairs earlier in the race. He's 35 laps down, but I think he's still out there, so you got to commend him on that. Sean Purcell also had 2 minutes of damage that he's corrected. He's up there running 22nd and on the lead lap. So he's been working hard, and then you can see a handful of drivers caught up in that last wreck there with just under a minute of repairs each. So you can see Ryan Patty is running 22nd right now, just behind Brian Smith. Those two drivers probably caught the worst of that wreck. And they're going to be battling an uphill battle to get back to the front. But Cody Neal, we saw him move he was moving forward all night, got caught up in some contact, but now he's in 7th position, and just ahead of him, Patinko and Duncan are battling as Duncan seems to be the car on the move right now. Multiple passes here since the restart. And at least for now, Finnegan doesn't seem to have much for Glazer. They're kind of maintaining about a 0.3 of a second gap, but they are both gapping Jake Champion and Adam Ball, running 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are looking at Cody Neal. 2 drivers up 17 spots. It's Cody Neal and Patrick Colby. 17 spots to the good where they started from. Oh boy. I mean, it's just that's the track position that you get on those pit stops. Right now tonight, your biggest asset is the guys on pit road. It's going to be a team effort. And, you know, you just need your pit road guys.
Yeah, I think you need your tires to last. You need your pit strategy to be right on. And then you're going to have to be on top of the wheel to avoid any of those wrecks like we saw. Dover fast for as small as it is, but it doesn't leave a lot of space for you to avoid things like that. Especially when a car gets sideways, they're pretty much blocking half the track at that point.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I thought Neal was going to get around Patinko here, but he's kind of getting held up at this point. John McNeil looking inside on Charlie Widener. See one of our pit reporters reporting that Braxton Deweese had just 28 seconds of damage, and he's got it all taken care of. Braxton now 16th here, riding behind Kyle Diaz and Zach Lockett.
Well, I will tell you this, you know, a shameless plug. This weekend, if you're in the northern Illinois area, head out to the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. Come say hi. We'll be out there Friday and Saturday night for the 35th annual Prairie Dirt Classic. And Shane, I tell you what, if you can't make it to Fairbury, I highly recommend that you watch it on Dirt Vision.
Cody Neal getting all he can handle from Patrick Colby. And Brzezowski is just trying to figure out which one of these guys is going to go to the front so I can follow him. He's not going to wait any longer. Down to the inside of the 28. Slides right up in front of him. I don't think a slide job is a typical move here at Dover, but he made it look good.
I mean, it could be. So what we noticed today in the actual cup race is the fact that these guys are getting aero loose side by side. Not so much the side draft, but aero loose.
McNeil battling Jacob Smith. It just seems really hard to pass here tonight.
You know, Shane, I think it's safe to say we have our winner to the race to the beer stand, and that is Roel in that number 39 car.
Yeah, I think that's if you're not counting Hanover. I don't think he ever left the beer stand before the race.
He must have lost. He must have got lost track of time and said, "Oh well, we'll try again next week."
Oh, look at this battle. John McNeil using that diamond to get momentum down off the corner. He's going to follow Jacob Smith down under Charlie Widener, but then just can't carry that same speed when you're stuck under a car like that in the corner. You can hear how much he has to feather the throttle there, and that's going to let Kyle Purcell behind him get up beside him. Not what he was looking for there. Now Braxton DeWeese going to go around as well. And we saw Jacob Smith moving forward here in that 4 car. Buddy Motorsports. I was just looking through. He did stop a couple laps after everyone else, but is mostly in the top 10. So he came down after that caution when other drivers didn't. I mean, I can't imagine that's given him a huge tire advantage, but he has been working his way forward ever since.
I feel like that's the name of the game here, is picking and choosing your battles here, you know, and just being calculated, as we had a little bit of moment there.
Cody Neal riding behind Evan Patinko. These guys have had a pretty good battle going here for the last couple laps. We mentioned Jonathan Duncan seemed to be the guy on the move. He's up to 3rd now, as Finnegan did get by Bentley Glazer. Well, we were watching some of that side-by-side action back in the pack. That was on lap 95. Let's go back and take a quick look at that. You're not going to miss any of the lead changing action here tonight. There he goes. He just kind of lined him up, and I don't think Glazer put up much of a fight either. So just like that, Nathan Finnegan out to the lead, and he is starting to gap Glazer now, almost a second. Finnegan with Collar City Racing. His teammate Cody Eldred back in 17th. We saw him involved in at least one of those accidents. But he's up 9 positions from where he started, so he's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, these guys are just content with riding around right now. You know, just doing what they do and just being smart, running a great race.
So it looks like Kyle Purcell going to go under Charlie Widener. That's for 12th position now. Kyle, one of those drivers who got caught by the rear tires spinning on him. Moving back towards the front. Jacob Smith and Brzezowski are battling. Smith now sets his sights on Patrick Colby for 8th. And Brzezowski way down low. He's going to come to pit road here. It's only been 33 laps for this run.
I think he's fast.
I think he saved it there at the last second. Locking up all 4 tires, avoiding the black flag on entry. I talked about it pre-race, Alan. That entry, I don't know what it is about the shape of it or the look of it, but it catches you off guard at the last second. Now Jonathan Duncan going to join him on pit road. And that's going to start our green flag cycle. Again, the stage is at 150. So if you're going to split it pretty much down the middle from when most everyone else was last on pit road, this is when you do it. We'll just have to see how that strategy plays out.
I mean, we're still relatively clean and green here. I'm low-key impressed.
And it looks like Finnegan now coming to pit road. He's not going to wait too long. I mean, he was the one that did it in the first stage, and it came back to bite him. So I'm a little surprised he's doing it again.
Maybe he knows something that no one else does.
And that leaves Bentley Glazer out front with a 5-second lead over second place Jake Champion. Jacob Smith continuing to battle. Oh, he's going to come to pit road, but that is an aggressive way to do it. I don't think he got slowed up enough. We'll have to watch him here on pit entry. And he made it. Man, I don't think the drivers behind him appreciated that re-entry, we'll call it. But he is going to make it to pit road without the black flag. Cody Neal also on pit road ahead of him. We've also got Tizio and McNeil hitting pit road, but Bentley Glazer still out there. So he has Finnegan trapped 1 lap down. Jonathan Duncan, John McNeil, and Brzezowski, they're all 2 laps down. Choosing to pit earlier than the leader of Bentley Glazer at this point. Duncan there getting 1 of his laps back. As now Zach Lockett has taken the lucky dog position for now. He's 1 lap down, coming down pit road. We got Evan Patinko hitting pit road as well. Drivers doing a good job to avoid that speeding penalty. As here comes our leader in the 87. That's going to leave Jake Champion out there.
I still can't believe it's not better, but here we are, 120 laps in. We got just 30 laps to go to the end of the stage 2. And, I mean, look at Jake Champion out there making it happen. A second and a half ahead of Adam Ball there in that number 19 car. Here's the thing I want to point out, though. I mean, we've only had 4 cautions tonight.
Yeah, there just haven't been that much. And it seems like every caution has been from someone spinning their rear tires on a restart. Ooh, Champion did not make it. He has just picked up a black flag. As Miles the Monster strikes again, this time with a pit road speeding penalty. That's going to hurt. Brian Smith now also on pit road behind him. Certainly not what Champion was looking for. Meanwhile, Adam Ball has inherited the lead. He's 45 laps into his fuel run. Deciding to run this out. Behind him, Braxton Deweese and Patrick Colby.
I still say your fuel strategy is wrong. I don't know. I'm not the one with the calculator tonight.
Well, no, like I said, it's mid-50s. Right now, our leaders have run 46 laps. So they still have 10 more, by my numbers, before they have to come in. But they do have to come in before the end of this stage. So I think it's either you split it evenly, like we saw Finnegan and Glazer and Duncan do, and you get those fresh tires and make use of them, or you run it as long as possible and hope to catch all of these drivers a lap down. Right now, there's only 12 drivers on the lead lap, and strong cars like Finnegan, Glazer, Duncan, Cody Neal, Patinko, Brzezowski, John McNeil, they're all trapped a lap down. So if a caution comes out now, you would be able to take fresh tires, and they would have to stay out to take the wave around just to get back on the lead lap. And in my mind, that should hand the stage win to you if you're Adam Ball. But if that caution doesn't come, then I don't know what to tell you, Alan.
You made your bed, so lie in it?
Could be. I will say, usually when I make the bed, it's because I'm getting out of it. But I'm not sure. Maybe that metaphor just doesn't track with me. Am I right? You make the bed when you wake up, not before you get in it.
You're not wrong. Look, my wife hates making the bed for me to just screw it all up.
And this is a battle for first place here between Adam Ball and Braxton Deweese. You've also got Zach Lockett in the mix. He's 2 laps down. He's trying hard to get at least one of those laps back. And I think if I were Zach, I'd be trying even harder than this. You do not want to get trapped 2 laps down, because then you can't even really use the wave around to get back to the lead lap. But Deweese looking for the lead under the 19 of Adam Ball. I think he's going to get him, Alan.
21 to go left in stage number 2.
You see Lockett trying to follow him through.
Wait, is that a radar car?
I think it. I was just going to say that. That looks really sharp there on the 19.
Looks like a thunderstorm cell brewing in the back of Adam Ball's number 19. You know, the other thing too, we've been saying this all night. You know, these awesome paint schemes are brought. Some of these guys, like, if we could go to Brian Smith right now.
There's a caution. 5th one. And there it is. If you're Adam Ball and Braxton Deweese, you better kiss that lucky rabbit foot right now.
Oh, boy.
I'm not seeing anything obvious here. I think it was
Kyle Diaz.
Kyle Diaz. There it is. Let's take a look. Here, racing with the 55, and they just get into each other. Really good move by him there to lock it down and keep from coming back up across traffic. And then gets it restarted. So certainly not ideal. Let's go back and watch that one more time. And again, I think this is just Diaz is expecting to be able to diamond the corner, but the 55 is there, riding that low line. And then it's kind of, once your cars get together, it's kind of hard to get off of each other as now both cars are turning into the other. But like I said, a great job by Diaz to minimize that and then keep the car from coming back up across traffic. That could save his night.
Very well.
And that's going to bring everyone who hadn't pitted down pit road. That's the first 12 cars.
Well, while we're slowed down here with the action of the Icon Cup Series, there's a QR code in the top, well, I want to say right-hand corner of your screen here on YouTube. That is a QR code. You know, some of these paint schemes wouldn't be possible without the helping hand of Waylon Turner. And, you know, I'm going to be quite frank. It sucks when you lose a job. You know, your whole world gets turned upside down. You know, they're adding a third child to the family. A little bit of help goes a long ways here. So just do us a favor, scan a QR code if you're able and willing. Help Mr. Whalen out. I mean, even if you can't help out financially, buy a paint scheme from him. He does an awesome job with the paints here with a lot of these drivers here in the Icon Cup Series. I know, I believe the 26 car is a Whalen paint scheme. I know Brian Smith's car is a Whalen paint scheme. Just there it is at Jacksonville, number 78 Ford, getting the wave around. So every little bit helps, and trust me, Waylon, if you're listening there, get with me, talk with me. I'm all ears. I'm no psychiatrist by any means of the imagination, but always here to help. We've all been where he's at, or you feel like you can't catch a break.
So now it's Adam Ball and Braxton DeWeese. The gamble pays off. They've got fresh tires, or maybe it actually looks like Adam and Braxton may have opted for fuel only. Either way,
whoa, Patrick Colby in the wall.
The latest driver to be bit by the monster here on the restart.
It was a love nip.
Oh, he's got some pretty visible damage there on the front of that car, though. And he tags the wall again.
Do you think that maybe Miles the Monster is an Auburn fan?
I mean, I guess Miles is welcome to cheer for whatever team he likes, but he is from Dover. I don't know where the Auburn connection would be.
Well, that's why he got Patrick Colby.
And Braxton DeWeese has taken the lead away from Adam Ball. And now the 32 of Cody Eldred coming up through there as well to P2. And it seems like it wasn't that long ago we were talking about Collar City Racing and how Finnegan was leading and Cody was riding back in 17th. He's up to P2 now, Alan. The script has flipped here. Again, that caution and pit strategy really helping some drivers gain some track position, get back into this thing. As we have 12 laps remaining in stage 2, Braxton DeWeese ahead of Cody Eldred and Kyle Purcell. Great recovery for Kyle as well. He was one of those drivers that spun the tires and went around in front of the field early on in the race. That was back on lap 58. He's got himself in the top 3. Looks like Colby didn't get too much damage. He settled in at 4th.
Say next week, don't forget to join us here, the same bat time, same bat channel. as we bring you 96 heart-pounding laps from the iconic Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Icon Cup Series. So, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Take the city by storm.
Diaz running ninth. We talked about how great of a save he had in that spin to keep himself in this race. He's in the top 10, and he just pitted for 2 tires. He's looking good. Way back in 14th, Bentley Glazer trying to overcome the other side of this pit strategy playing out. Stuck back in traffic now alongside Zach Lockett. Just behind Brad Delph. Handful of other cars there as Diaz goes wide. It's going to let a couple cars by on the inside, including Jonathan Duncan. Glazer, Lockett, Brzezowski all trying to use the high line and get by these guys here. A lot of fast cars back here running in the mid kind of 12th to 20th position there after that pit strategy played out the way it did, as now Kyle Purcell has caught and gotten around Braxton Deweese, and Patrick Colby's trying to come with him. And I think we're starting to see the tire strategy play out yet again. As I think Deweese took fuel only. Actually, this is saying 2 tires, but I think it was fuel only. Our pit road reporter has confirmed that. And then Adam Ball also took fuel only. Those guys have just been drifting back after starting on the front row of this restart. So Kyle Purcell and Patrick Colby on 4 tires have taken the lead away. And
Absolutely. I think he had a thought.
And I think if the crew chiefs are listening or watching, you've got to know 4 tires is the move. It has worked time and time again. And I think staying out versus splitting the stage seems to be the way to do it, at least so far tonight.
You know, I feel like we kind of seen this earlier today in the real world race here at Dover. You know, I kind of like the series that they do as they run the 60% of the actual race, so we can kind of make those comparisons on what we saw earlier in the afternoon. But here we go. Ryan Patty in that number 30 car starting to make moves. We are close to end of stage 2. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, Alan, I think that's one of the big advantages to the Icon schedule is how they pretty much follow the Cup schedule as it is and match it week for week. It kind of sets it up, at least for me. I get to do my homework watching the real life race to know what to expect here on Sunday night.
We need to bring Chris Deweese in to be our pit reporter.
Yeah, Chris reporting they still have 2 sets of tires left. So they should be all set. I assume that means they're going to pit for 4 tires at the end of the stage. And then they're going to make a stop somewhere right in the middle. It'll be about 90 laps here in the final stage. And like I said, I think the fuel window is a little over 50, so you can split that right down the middle or stay out a few extra laps and make it to the end, assuming we don't have any green-white checkers or anything like that. Deweese currently running 4th. Got Cody Eldred right behind him. Right now, the battles on track, the closest ones are between, well, it's jumping all over the place. We've got close battles everywhere right now, as there's another caution flag.
Agent.
And that's the stage. So Kyle Purcell, after spinning on the restart at lap 58, using some pit strategy and getting hands up on the wheel to do some racing, made his way to the lead. He's going to win stage 2. And while these drivers come down for the final stage caution of the night, we're going to jump away for a quick commercial break and be right back with the Icon Cup Series on SRM. For the start of the third and final stage of the race. Kyle Purcell and Charlie Widener are going to lead the field back. There is more drivers spinning those tires into the wall. I think that's Gladelich, the latest victim of Miles the Monster. He has been coming after drivers here on restarts, but everybody else keeps it straight. Purcell out front. Deweese not going to let these two get away. He is underneath the 95. Going to try to clear him here, and he does. Now trying to track down that 0-1 car of Kyle Purcell. And these Purcell brothers doing it well tonight, both in the top 5 here. Chicagoland Racing. Having a great night here on lap 157. See if they can keep it up. Both of these drivers put it on. Kyle's up 16 positions. Sean's up 17. Showing us what they're made of here at Dover as Braxton Deweese continues to try and chase down Kyle Purcell. A little further back, Cody Eldred and Duncan battling, and there's Nathan Finnegan trying to follow his teammate around the 19. Oh, was that Duncan got loose? Had to check up. He's going to lose a couple positions, but keeps it out of the wall and out of any other cars. Ooh, and Finnegan grabs the wall. Oh, Cody Neal was trying to get under the 13, and he just threw a block. I'm not sure the 38 appreciated that. Keep an eye on this. Neal now to the outside of Duncan. And up front, DeWeese is looking inside of Kyle Purcell. Down on that bottom line. Is he going to be able to clear him? No, not yet. Purcell hanging tight on the outside. There goes DeWeese to the lead. We have had a number of drivers lead a lap here tonight. There is Widener looking for a P2. Nathan Finnegan has led the most at 64. He's still in the top 5. Glazer led 33 before the pit strategy bit him. He's in the top 10. Brian Smith, though, his night has continued to be a struggle as he picked up damage. He led 22 laps, but Kyle Purcell has led 16, and now Braxton DeWeese back out front, adding to his 14 laps led on the night. Adam Ball.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Braxton DeWeese, one of those drivers without a team, along with Bentley, Glazer, and Brad Dell. But I like the move. You know, just before we went to break, Chris DeWeese checked in the YouTube.com live chat and said they still had 2 sets of tires. I imagine he took one here at the stage. That's going to set them up for the rest of the race. They are good to go.
As we look at DeWeese's journey here over the last 100 laps or so, 4 tire stops here. Some repairs were made after that wreck earlier. I think you said it was 28 seconds. Then a fuel-only stop, and then 4 tires here on that last caution. Have set Braxton up for the lead.
I definitely do love the strategy. Chris checking in saying cruise control now.
Here comes Finnegan as well. I've been following his journey here tonight, getting caught twice by that early pit strategy as a caution came out at just the wrong time. And he's back up in the top 3 after a 4 tire stop. And he has brought his teammate with him, Cody Eldred, for Collar City. In the top 5 there behind Nathan and Charlie Widener. So we take a look at some of the team dynamics here. Adam Ball and Ryan Patty for Electric City. We saw Patty get caught up in one of those rear tire spin incidents earlier. He's been doing his best to recover. Stuck back in 19th. We got Bentley Glazer driving for Old Guys Rule. Charles Woods, his teammate, back in 23rd. And the Buddy Motorsports drivers, Cody Neal in the top 10, Jacob Smith and Brian Smith both trying to recover from contact earlier in the race. And then early on, we saw domination from the Adrenaline Racing team. Right now, their best driver is Zach Lockett. John McNeil and Nathan Brzezowski are all running back-to-back there right around 10th. Then a little further back, Dragonfly Racing drivers Jonathan Duncan and Patrick Colby there, bumper to bumper for 12th. I mentioned the Purcell brothers. Sean not having a great run here as he was up in the top 5 not too long ago. This last stint has not been kind to him.
As we were coming through the field, I want to get your opinion on the Chicago street course. And they're going to pause it next year. I'm hoping that they bring back Chicago Land.
Yeah, I mean, that's That was always a great track to me. I think it wasn't the racing that kind of pulled the plug on Chicagoland. It was more the ticket sales, if I remember right. But I think now that this next-gen car is kind of set up the way it is and it races so well at the intermediates, it's time to bring it back.
I think if they bring back Chicagoland, it sells out.
Yeah, I think here's my controversial opinion, Alan, is that now that we have a rain tire for short tracks, I think we should only race in the rain at Richmond. Like, if it is not raining, put on the delay. John McNeil grabs the wall. He's going to slow up a little bit, lose a position to the 77.
Whoa, look at a slide up in front of McNeil. That is Brzezowski. Says shuts the door, actually slams it.
And Adam Ball just ahead of Bentley Glazer now. Look at who's the fastest on track right now over the last 5 laps. The fastest car on the track has been Nathan Finnegan, then Cody Neal and Braxton DeWeese, all of them running 24.6s. So Finnegan starting to track down DeWeese ever so slightly. And Jacob Smith and now Kyle Purcell on the list, as Kyle has stuck around here with Finnegan and DeWeese in the top 3. $175 laps in the books. Just to remind you what we've seen so far. Ryan Smith was on pole. Bentley Glazer got stage 1. Kyle Purcell took stage 2. We've had just a couple cautions here, most of which were people spinning tires on restarts. And here we are in the 3rd stage. 24 laps into this run. I would expect drivers are going to be on pit road if this stays green right around lap 200 to set themselves up for a final run to the finish.
You know, looking at the rundown here, it is so weird to see Brian Smith mired back in that 19th position.
Yeah, I mean, he is still on the lead lap. He's done everything he can strategically to overcome the damage to his car. He got caught up in that one on lap 80. And then maybe some more after that. Cody Neal now working his way around Charlie Widener. And Neal has just been working his way forward. Came down pit road and got 4 tires. Lost some positions there. Another driver just caught the wrong end of that pit strategy, but he has steadily worked his way back up to the top 5, now running 4th.
Well, we're nearing the end of this one. We are definitely on the back half for sure. Closing laps here. And, well, no chance of rain here in sight.
Oh, and Brzezowski loses it into the inside wall.
Please stay green.
Yeah, he's got some serious damage to that 77 machine. But he did keep it straight, so I don't expect a caution to come out here.
He's at least got to try to limp that thing back to pit road.
It looks like he's going to make it.
That happened live right in front of us. Braxton DeWeese, though, has got that interval. He Look, Nathan Finnegan is coming. And he's coming in a hurry. It's down to 3/10 or over a half a second. And that's it.
Adam Ball and Bentley Glazer are going at it here, Alan. It's a battle for 7th position. As now we're starting to see kind of a mixture of the drivers who won that pit strategy on stage 2 and the drivers that suffered from it are now all collecting back together into the top 10. This battle from Duncan's position, and just as I say that, it gets real wild.
Duncan get a 2-for-1 special here if he can get by Bentley Glazer. I tell you what, this battle right here, there is more action in this battle than a Waffle House at 3 a.m. And I know it depends on the Waffle House.
I was wondering that you waited a long time to bring up the Waffle House tonight. But you know who I just noticed isn't in the live chat is our friend, I think his name's Sean. He is always trying to find an excuse to have a cold beverage, and just like that, another caution is out. Ethan Van Colley involved here on lap 184. We'll take a look at that. He's in that 85 Charmin machine. Oh, he actually gets caught up in Sean Purcell, who was sideways on the track.
Oh.
Let's see if we can jump a little further back and see what happened to that 74 machine. Oh, we got a little bit of help from Brad Delph. Smacked the outside wall, and then he's got
the 85
yeah,
car.
his steering isn't working. He's doing his best to get out of the way, and EVC gets caught up in that one. And that's going to bring everyone to pit road, and this is a little bit of an awkward timing with 54 laps remaining. I think you can make it on fuel.
I mean,
But
if
if you
your math
don't
is correct,
hold me responsible.
Let's say if your math is correct, they're going to be on they're going to have 1 lap remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be close. So we might be set up for one heck of a fuel race here on this final run. It'd be the longest we've seen anybody run on tires as well if this stays green.
You know, the question I have while we're watching Jonathan Duncan come off pit road, who has the tires and who doesn't? Who took fuel and fuel only?
Well, give me just a minute and I will get you that overlay to answer your questions. These drivers, we still got some drivers on pit road, but I think we can get a pretty good feel for it here. At least for the top 10. Jacob Smith took 2 tires. I think Bentley Glazer just came down to top off. And that might be the winning move of the race, as we were just talking about how close it's going to be. But we've still got 20 cars on the lead lap. So let's look at all 20 of those drivers' pit strategies going on right now. Jacob Smith is going to be in the lead, and he got there by taking 2 tires. Then everyone behind him's on 4, so he's gonna have to cross his fingers on that one. And then way in the back, Gladelich, he's been in an extended stop making some repairs on top of 4 tires. Glazer comes down. I know that says 2 tires, but I think that was his top off stop, not his tire stop. I believe he took all 4. And Jake Champion also down to top off. Oh no, Champion actually picked up a black flag there on that pit cycle. Not exactly sure why. But we are coming back to the green flag one more time. Here with Braxton DeWeese inside of leader Jacob Smith. Jacob with the jump He's going to pull a pretty good gap here on the rest of the field to start this off, but we know he's on 2 tires and everyone else is on 4, so watch how long he can hold them off.
Here we go. Not long, because here comes Braxton Deweese to the inside for the lead. To the inside, and Nathan Finnegan's coming right along with him. We kind of knew it was going to happen here.
I thought he might get a lap, Alan, but he only got about half of one. Finnegan now the next driver to work on Jacob Smith. And Cody Neal is right in the draft with him.
I feel like that Jacob Smith is kind of holding Finnegan up just a little bit. Nathan Finnegan got to move him up the racetrack. Here comes Cody Neal.
They're 3 wide.
Force the issue. You can't do that.
Holy cow.
Apparently they can, because they just did it.
That had to be at least 1.5 Waffle House units of excitement for you. Maybe 2 whole Waffle Houses.
That was 2 Waffle Houses. As once again, Braxton Deweese is smothered, covering, and chopping the field. And for those of you who don't know what smothered and covered is, and chopped, well, go look it up at the Waffle House.
You know, we ought to be able to pick up a Waffle House sponsorship here eventually.
I mean, look, if anybody out there wants to sponsor the rates of the beer stand, I mean, I would love to get a Waffle House sponsorship.
That is the dream. So we talked about Brian Smith, still with some damage, still making repairs every stop. Let's take a look at the total. Man, we've had a lot of repairs done tonight. Brian has done 1.5 minutes, and he is the best running of any car that's had more than 1 minute of damage here tonight. But yeah, the repairs just adding up here for the pit crews. As Widener and Duncan are battling here for 5th place. Deweese continues to maintain the lead over Finnegan, about 0.8 of a second. And it's about the same gap back to Cody Neal. And then again to 4th place Kyle Purcell. Again, pretty much all the drivers on the same strategy here, except for, I think Glazer came down and topped off, but.
I have to ask you a question, though. Do you think NASCAR today made the right call to drive the track and to finish it out? I do. I personally do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly an argument to say the way they did it and the way they held the cars while they dried pit road. I'm sure there is an argument that that wasn't the regular way they do it, and it kind of felt like they were artificially prolonging the green flag laps, but that's exactly what I want my NASCAR to do. Like, you know what I mean? We just watched this race for 3 hours and sat through an hour of rain delay. Give me, you know, what I want. Give me a good race ending. I think if Christopher Bell had won it and they called it for rain, that was the worst answer.
Exactly. And you know, here's my take on it. Look, the shower didn't last long, right? 56 minutes total for a rain delay? I mean, not bad, really, if you think about it. I think I would rather take the finish we had today over, oh, it rained, and Christopher Bell won because it rained.
Yeah, I mean, that battle between Briscoe and Hamlin coming down to the finish. 2 teammates who, I mean, it feels like Denny's having a decent year, but it still feels like every time he's in a position to win, he's got something to prove. I think until he wins the championship, every race win is something he feels like he needs to prove, and he's going to force the issue. And Briscoe said pre-race, you know, he's driving in that 19 car, and Martin Truex had a phenomenal record at Dover, so he knew the team could do it, and so I think he was in a really tough spot there racing his teammate. Some real professional, respectful driving is what I saw. And yeah, I know I'm a William Byron fan, so I was out of it a couple laps earlier as Gragson took him out. I don't think it was Gragson's fault either. I think somebody took him out first, but it was a great race. Similar to the one we're watching here with Icon, as I think Cody Elder just slapped the wall.
These guys put on such phenomenal racing week in and week out. You know, I am so glad to be a part of this series.
Ooh,
up
there
here
goes
in the
Jacob
booth.
Smith. And he's going to collect Anthony
no,
Tizio.
Tizio.
Oh, and who was that on the outside? Just snuck by. I think that was Mike Grinnell. Holy cow. Let's go back and see what happened to Jacob Smith in the 4-car. We know he was on a 2-tire strategy that didn't let him keep the lead very long. Oh, he's already sideways there.
He's already sideways. He's already loose as a goose.
Oh, yeah, he just gets loose and
Right.
then the car has nothing left. Oh, that 15 car. Let's go back and check it from Tizio's cockpit view. Yeah, he's having his own trouble there into the wall, and then before he knows it, and I think that might have played into it. He's focused on saving his own loose car. Brian Smith in front of him slows down aggressively, and Tizio just doesn't have a chance to.
Oh.
And then if we back it up a little bit and watch from EVC, I think he was the car that went by on the outside. He joins this wreck late. Oh, maybe I got the wrong car. Either way, there was some car that made it by the outside just barely. Some good driving by that one. So that's going to bring a handful of drivers to pit road, but not everyone. So it looks like the top 9 stayed out. Let's see if we can get some strategy data going here. Yeah, so all the way back to Jake Gladelich. They have been out there for 17 laps and did not pit. But Braxton Deweese, Kyle Purcell, Charlie Widener, Jonathan Duncan, they all came down and took 4 tires. So that's going to answer the fuel story for those drivers, maybe for everyone. The caution laps here might let the drivers who couldn't make it get there. And we didn't get a chance to talk about Bentley Glazer on that run, but I was paying attention to him, Alan. He was a second off the pace, riding in the back. I think he was hoping this thing would run green and he'd be the only car that could make it on fuel. I feel like he was saving aggressively to try and pull that off, and it didn't work out, and instead he just kind of moved himself to the back and took away the track position.
I think you're right, but I mean, look, only what, 35 laps to go? 36?
Yeah, and this has been a battle of attrition. We've seen so many drivers run up front and then end up in the back. As we look, Finnegan is leading the race, but Deweese is outside the top 10, Glazer outside the top 10, Brian Smith back in 18th. Purcell and Ball are both in the top 10, and then Jacob Smith just got taken out, Jake Champion, back in 23rd. So it's just being up front and leading laps has not been lucky enough to get you to the end. As here Nathan Finnegan leads Cody Neal and the rest of the field, and behind them, Cody, who was that just slapped the wall? Cody Eldred, the 32. Another driver spinning their tires on the restart. Getting into the wall, but he's going to lose a couple positions, but not too many. As Finnegan and Neal start to pull away.
Yeah, Nate. Oh, we got a caution. Ryan Betty.
Where is Ryan? Yeah, I'm not even sure what's going on back here. We're 3 wide, and Brian Smith just loses the nose. Yeah, I mean, that's a strange situation. All three of these drivers, kind of all by themselves, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. Well, let me back it up a little bit more and see if there's more to this story. So Patty is catching the EVC, and it looks like Patty's not happy with the 85, and Brian Smith throws it in there and just can't hold the bottom. And I'm sure the damage he has on that car is related, but neither of these drivers is going to be too happy about what just happened there. But the driver I was just about to say, let's take a look at, is Bentley Glazer. He went 3 wide to the outside and was passing cars in a hurry. I think he knows now that fuel strategy didn't come in to play the way he was hoping. He is going to be hammered down and try to get back to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, lap 208 of 240, 207 in the history books, and Bentley Glazer, he's been as high as the lead and as low as 18th, and he's led 33 laps here today. But here's the thing I want to point out too, Shane, is, the aggression level is at an all-time high. We're on the north side of crazy. And, take all that strategy you had before and just throw it out the window. But real quickly, you'd see this QR code. We've talked about it all night long. Waylon Turner, who has made a couple of these paint schemes here and the field, he's hit a rough patch. He's looking for a little bit of help here. And scan that QR code, and if you can, you're willing, or follow the link in the video description below. There's a GoFundMe. He's falling on some rough times. We just want to let Waylon know that we're thinking about him, and our thoughts and prayers go out to him, and say, well, get ready to welcome their third child into the world. So, I mean, even, here's the thing. Even if I'm pretty sure if you get a hold of Anthony Tizio and some guys like that, even if you just go and ship a box of diapers and stuff to them. Pace cars off. We're going back to Graves Flag Racing here to the Echo Park restart zone. Lap 209 or 240.
It looked like Finnegan grabbed the wall just a little bit. Weiss thought about throwing it 3 wide on the bottom. Decided better of it and tucked in behind the 32 for now. But as we've seen on the last couple restarts, just Finnegan and Neal grab a comfortable buffer before everybody gets settled in.
This is when you start to feel comfortable. Miles the Monster won't let you feel comfortable.
This is quite the hornet's nest here, back around 8th position and plus or minus 4 positions. These guys are all over each other, trying to find their way up to the front to battle with Finnegan, Neal, and Delph. Brad Delph now up to 3rd. And Nathan Finnegan just ran the fastest lap of the race, 23.71. Starting to run away with it is Jonathan Duncan on the outside of Weiss. Doing everything but touch the wall. He is driving a hard race right now, Duncan. Very aggressive on the turn exit. We ride along. He's trying to track down Brad Delph and Kyle Purcell just ahead of him. They're in a side-by-side battle. It's going to slow him down. give him a run on him. As their Delph tucks in behind Purcell. Adam Ball now losing some positions. Widener goes by. Now Zach Lockett going by on the outside. Oh, and there's the caution. Allen.
For the 10th time.
Not exactly sure who that one's on. Everyone seems to be up to speed.
This is a precaution. It's actually the menacing banana split that was in center field at Busch Stadium over the weekend with the Savannah Bananas.
It might have been Ryan Patty, as he is way at the back of the field here. Oh, he just gets loose
and
can't quite save it. And some pretty heavy contact on the inside wall there. And that was enough for the yellow flag this time around. And so yet again, we're going to see some drivers coming to pit road. Now, Cody Neal, the furthest up running driver, he's going to come down pit road here. It's just 24 laps to go. We have 20 drivers on the lead lap. Make that 19. But it looks like he's probably going to come out of the pits in 13th position. He was running second. So this is going to shake it up yet again on that pit strategy. And we've seen all night that 4 fresh tires, the fresher the better, help drivers take the lead all night long. So if you're Nathan Finnegan or Evan Patinko, you're sitting in the top 5, but you're now at a 30-lap disadvantage to Cody Neal and everyone who just pitted. And Finnegan's also at a 16-lap differential to Kyle Purcell in second. It hasn't seemed to slow him down, as he was just setting the fastest lap of the race on that last run, but we're going to see a hodgepodge here of tire strategy. There you go. Yeah, Nathan Finnegan now 30 laps on this set of tires. Purcell only 14. And then back in 13th is Cody Neal, just now pitting for 4 fresh tires. He's going to be the one to watch here on this restart, especially if it stays green and he has time to work. Hashtag let him cook.
I like it. Who are you gonna pick for these last 21 circuits?
I'm telling you, I think the bold move is Cody Neal. He's back in 14th, but he's the only one with fresh tires. I think if he maybe gets 10 laps of green flag racing here and then another caution to bring the leaders back to him, he's sitting in a great spot. Or those leaders might decide to pit if we catch another caution. So I think I like Cody Neal for the win right now, Alan.
I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one, but you never know. That's why we run these things, right?
And we are gonna check this restart from the blimp as Finnegan gets a great jump. Braxton DeWeese trying to follow him. He's up to second ahead of Purcell. Then Glazer, like I said, he's been hammered down the last few restarts, all the way up to 4th, outside of Jonathan Duncan. A little further back, John McNeil. A slight push to the 95's bumper. Evan Patinko under fire from Zach Lockett. Oh, a couple drivers grabbing the wall. Cody Neal up to 10th. He's already gained 3 positions since the restart. I'm going to shoot to the outside of the 28 or try to. Some tight racing.
Oh boy. Here we
Colby,
go.
Widener, and Neal. He's going to split them. 3 wide. Through the middle.
Oh.
There he goes up to 8th position.
Got me
Ow.
feeling to the wall. 20 to go. We're going to stay green though.
Oh, he
Maybe.
almost collects Brian Smith. Then he gets back down off the track. Deweese just ran the fastest lap of the race now as he tries to track down Nathan Finnegan. And Cody Neal continues his march now by Patinko.
I can tell you this right now. Chris Deweese is cheering on Braxton Deweese like nobody's business right now. There, and so is everybody at James on Main.
That last lap, Braxton was 1/100th of a second faster than Finnegan. We look at who's the fastest on track right now. Brian Smith is actually turning some fast laps back in 14th. Otherwise, it's Cody Neal, fastest on track, then Braxton Deweese, just a little bit faster. Oh, and there we're updating from the lap time. Yeah, so it's Brian Smith, Braxton Deweese, the fastest on the track.
You can see how Nathan Finnegan just gets off the corner just a little bit better than Braxton Deweese. But here comes Braxton Deweese. This is what we saw earlier today, as you know, Braxton Deweese would catch up, and then Nathan Finnegan pulls away. That is the same thing we saw today in the real world race, where Denny Hamlin, and with Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin, is Christopher Bell would drive up to Denny Hamlin, and then Denny Hamlin would pull away.
Oh, Cody Neal and Zach Lockett touch. They were both sideways and saved it on turn exit as Neal's now up to 6th. Lockett might repay the favor. Oh, and Neal is still loose.
15 miles to go here. Braxton Deweese doing everything he can. 1/10 of a second, almost 2/10 of a second. And there it is. There's how that interval grows. It's like I watched a deja vu all over again. 14 laps to go, no rainstorm in sight.
You know, like you said, Alan, Deweese had been catching him there on the last 2 laps. Finnegan a little bit faster. I think when this lap comes in, though, Deweese is going to have the upper hand. There it is. But it's only 1/100th of a second, Alan. Braxton is going to have to find a way to get to that bumper through this arrow push that we see here at Dover.
Here comes Braxton Deweese. Look to the outside. This battle for the lead. This battle for the lead is heating up. It's going to be a dynamite finish here with 12 laps to go.
These two matching pace pretty closely here. And see, he's trying to get a little bit lower, get some clean air on the nose. But then on exit, Finnegan cuts down, takes that clean air away, and you can see Deweese's car get tight. But to your point earlier in the race, Alan, Deweese is shifting down to 4th. We saw not every driver is doing that. That seems to be giving him a little bit of extra speed here in the closing laps.
Here comes Braxton Deweese looking to try again. 2/10 of a second is what separates Nathan Finnegan. 10 laps to go. I think he's got enough. He's got to get there. But the sands of the hourglass are running out very quickly for Braxton Deweese if he wants any hope of getting around that number 6 car.
Yeah, Finnegan just is finding some extra speed here as he was the fastest car on track that lap. He saved a little something to try and hold off the 8 car at the end.
Interval climbs to a half second. 8 laps to go.
Yeah, starting to go in the wrong direction for Braxton.
Trying to do what Seabell did. Cool his tires off. Let Finnegan just pull away just a hair, but still keep him in his crosshair. Here comes the Rocket, Zach Lockett.
Oh, Neal!
Cody Neal catches the wall.
Slams the wall.
Zach Lockett saves it. I don't know how, but that's gonna hurt the handling on that machine there, that number 93 ride.
Yeah, let's go back and
We
watch that real quick, and then we will follow these leaders down to the finish. We're riding with Lockett. Neal Harvey.
There you go.
Back at
And
the
then
front.
here comes Kyle Purcell.
Yeah, he's doing his best to track these two down. Drivers struggling to get consistent lap times. We're kind of watching this graphic of who's fastest the last lap, and it is changing almost completely every time around.
I think Braxton Luis has just used up all his stuff.
Yeah, Chris DeWeese reporting that Braxton's car is getting too tight in the dirty air. So now he is trying to hold off Kyle Purcell. 3 laps remain here in the Dover 240. Zach Lockett and Cody Neal continue to battle. I'm starting to get the feeling these two aren't too happy with each other. As hard as they've been racing here at the end of the race.
Yeah, the popsicle sticks are in the air for Nathan Finnegan. Braxton DeWeese just, I mean, he's out of laps. There's nothing more that Braxton can do.
Yeah, Finnegan was able to stretch those older tires. And here he comes around. Last time down the backstretch, Allen. Nathan Finnegan rounds turns 3 and 4. He's going to bring it back to the checkered flag. Here at the Monster Mile, another win for Nathan Finnegan. Braxton DeWeese and Kyle Purcell also on the podium. And Cody Neal losing positions to Zach Lockett and Patinko there on that final lap after getting into the wall hard. Brian Smith recovering to a 9th place finish. He totaled 3.5 minutes of repairs and still brought home a top 10. Pretty impressive there for the 78. Not what he was looking for, but impressive nonetheless. Look at Nate Finney. He's going to get a celebratory tap from the 14. As Nathan Finnegan celebrates here with the donuts on the front stretch. And we've got Nathan Finnegan, Braxton DeWeese, Kyle Purcell on the podium here tonight. Great race by all 3 of them. And it looks like we've got Kyle ready for you, Alan. Kyle Purcell bringing it home 3rd here tonight at Dover. You got a copy?
I do.
Yeah, look, 3rd place tonight. Nothing to hang your head about. What a great run! Take us through that run and what more you could have needed to get by Braxton and maybe get by and catch Nathan Finnegan.
Well, I mean, I spent most of the race just trying to preserve tires and be fast in the long run. So I was trying to figure out how to run fast on a short run there. And this is definitely not my best track ever. So I think I was a little quicker. It's just obviously Finnegan was on older tires, but he was aero blocking Deweese. And then when I got close to Deweese, I was in his aero wash. And it's just really hard to pass here when you're not on a significant advantage. So I'm more or less settled in for third. I've had a really rough season. So getting, I think, my first podium of the season here finally, it was more than I could have hoped for coming in.
Absolutely. Well, next week we go to Indy. What are you expecting once we get to Indy, and what might is this going to be the run that changes your season essentially?
Well, I'm going to be resetting after this one because I'm actually missing next week. I will be in Indianapolis visiting my sister and going to the race weekend with my brother-in-law. So I'll watch Ty Dillon take home the million, and then I'll come home and see who won. See who won over here.
All right. Well, before you chat here, Kyle, is there anybody you'd want to thank that helped get you here tonight?
Just a big shout out to everybody that ran the Spa 24 with me. I was a split 22 survivor, so pretty happy with my fame from that. And then a shout out to my brother, even though he got wrecked, someone arca braked him at some point there. Shout out to him for staying, hanging in, helping me keep my head in it by having another voice in my ear.
Well, good. Well, congratulations on that third place finish, and we'll see you on the next one.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, we've got the 8 car of Braxton Deweese. Braxton, you got a copy?
I gotcha.
Man, we thought you had the tires and the speed maybe to catch Finnegan there at the end. But we heard from our pit reporter, Chris, that you're just getting too tight behind him there. Ran out of laps to get him there at the end. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, we overall had a pretty solid race, a lot more of a solid race than we've had here recently. We had a couple races like this at the beginning of the year. I know Homestead, we ran up front. Granted, I feel like we ran better here all race than we did at Homestead when we got the win, but it is what it is. Just wish we could have had a little bit more cleaner air to be able to get that done, or a little bit more of a difference on tires, but nonetheless, we still had a good run coming on P2.
Absolutely, and you led 53 laps, so you had the speed. Those last kind of spur of cautions really shook up the pit strategy. At any point were you worried about fuel? I know there was one caution that was about 54 laps before the end of the race. We weren't sure if drivers could make it from there.
I knew we had about 60 laps, 65 laps that we could work with, and I was out there leading, and then Nathan was getting close to me, and that caution came out with like about 55 to go, and right from there I knew that we were going to be good to go to the end. It was around that mark, but I knew we'd be good to go to the end, and just had to try to keep it out front and save the tires. I really would have liked to see what would happen if I had stayed out, but at the same time, I'm still happy I used that set of tires, because I've used a strategy to save a set of tires for a caution or any type of situation in so many leagues, and I never get anything to really go my way. There's always cautions when I don't need them, and when I need cautions, I never get any. So it played in our favor pretty good tonight. We waited on the pit for the few stages, and we got caught some cautions that kept us up there up front. But overall, just track position was very, very key.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a great race. We'll sure you'll be celebrating the podium at Jane's on Main, maybe. But who else you got to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, like you said, Jane's on Main. Big shout out to them. Glad to give them a good run. Hopefully, we can get them another win before the postseason here. But nonetheless, a good points day. So big shout out to them, as well as Interstate Ford, Happy Hippie Karaoke, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Allen's Arts Images, Bennett's Publical, Deweese Innovations, Elevated TV, Unrivaled Innovations, Short Track Reports, Carbon Tires Media, Booth 34 Diecast, Blaze Designs, Evan Pineda Designs, Chance 3 Design Shop, and Bullet All Coffee Company. I still think you can use Brax5 for 10% off over there, but I appreciate all of them that support me, as well as everybody in the chat, my live stream as well. We had a couple of things, a couple of opportunities for people to be able to view my races, so that's pretty cool to have. Some people like to watch the broadcast, some people like to watch the actual point of view. So appreciate all them that support, and appreciate the pit reporter, old dad. Call him Weezer, but he's always coming in here during cautions and telling me to keep it up and just asking a couple questions and whatnot. But I appreciate him. I appreciate everybody that tunes in, not even support me. It's pretty cool to have people tuning in for sim racing events on YouTube here. So it could be some pretty good racing. So I appreciate y'all. Looking forward to go back and watching it.
Yes, sir. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do at Indy next week. Have a good rest of your Sunday night and a good week leading up to that one. We'll see you next time.
I appreciate it, Shane and Alan. Y'all have a good one.
All right, next up is going to be race winner Nathan Finnegan in the 6 car. Nathan, how you doing?
Feeling pretty good, guys. We didn't anticipate, honestly, be sitting here with the strategy on tires that we chose tonight, and had a feeling that Clean Air was going to be king with the new tire model, the new aero package that they have. And big shout out to the 8. I mean, he gave us a real run for our money, and kind of like Denny typically says too, a lot of mirror driving and trying to block off and clog lanes. And because I knew if he got to our quarter panel, that was pretty much it. He was going to get by. So glad it ran green to the end. And yeah, really, 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 really proud of our team today.
Yeah, we saw on that last couple runs there, you were at a tire disadvantage over the drivers that were trying to catch you. Was that kind of playing into how you were approaching that, or you were just saying, hey, whatever, I'm going to use whatever I've got?
Yeah, we had a set line still, and that was a big conversation about whether or not we were going to come for them when the 8 came down. And I knew with him having Clean Air too, like that was going to be really hard to make the pass if we were on equal stuff. So I figured, you know what, we got to do something a little bit different, a little bit offset from what they're doing, and decided to stay out and was hoping to get a green flag run to the end from there. And then the multiple restarts actually kind of hurt us, if anything, because it allowed newer tires to get good jumps and get a couple of cars each restart. So thankfully the last like 30 laps though went green.
Yeah, I mean, you seemed, once you got up front, you looked pretty unstoppable tonight. Although in stage 1, you came down and pitted a little early, I'm assuming to try and split the stage for tires, and then you got caught with a caution that put you a lap down. You had to fight back and I think catch a lucky dog at some point. And then I saw you do the same thing in stage 2. I thought maybe that would have spoiled the
we would have learned our lesson,
the strategy, but you did it again and you came back anyway.
Yeah, that was a mistake on the second one. Unfortunately, the pit stop was intentional. I honestly anticipated just taking fuel and tires and splitting it. Unfortunately, we forgot to check off the tires, so we got fuel only on that one, and that's how we ended up getting an extra set laying at the end there, just in reserve. But thankfully, we had enough pace, and we kept a good enough care of the tires on the first half of that run, and then on the back half we were able to push just enough, I think, to really kind of maintain track position, so we didn't get put a lap down by the leaders who did take tires.
Well, it worked out for you there in the end. You led 102 laps tonight. Congratulations on the victory. Anybody else you want to thank for tonight's race or shout out to?
Big shout out to the CCR ECR guys, able to talk strategy in real time and figure out, what our options might be and what option might be the best option in a given moment. And my wife for tuning in, my parents for tuning in, you guys doing our broadcast each and every week. We appreciate that. And it's not technically our home track, but with Dover being the next closest to us up here in Rhode Island, feels good to get one here at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did want to give you a chance to talk about, what we're doing here for Waylon. He's going through a rough time, and we've got a QR code up on the screen for anybody who's open to No Name, but didn't know if you wanted to add any context there for folks at home.
Yeah, so Waylon Turner, one of our racers, fellow Icon racers, having a tough time, him and his family at the moment. They're looking to get some funds together to secure some housing for him and his wife and his kids. We're definitely thinking of all of them here at Icon. Tizzy and I are working on trying to put together and market a charity race coming up. We don't really know when that fundraiser race is going to be just yet, but we're trying to iron out the dates and get the marketing in place and try to raise some money. for him and his family. So anything that anyone's able to donate, no donation's too small. We'd really, really appreciate it. I know he would too. If anyone has anything they're able to give.
Yeah, and like we've been telling people all night, QR code's on the screen, and if that doesn't work for you for some reason, we've got the GoFundMe link down in the video description. But congratulations again, Nate. Another great race there for you, bringing it home at the Monster Mile. We look forward to seeing what you can do at Indianapolis next week.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully we'll be kissing the bricks. We'll see.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday night and have a good week coming up. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, there it is, Alan. Just like that, we are wrapped up again. It was Nate Finnegan, Braxton DeWeese, and Kyle Purcell bringing it home on the podium tonight. Let's wrap this up. We'll take a run through our final results. Here to end the night, I think this race had just about everything we expected it to. Tire strategy, pit strategy, cautions. Saw some of those rear tire spins. And in the end, it was Nate Finnegan in first, Braxton DeWeese second, Kyle Purcell third, Bentley Glazer fourth, Jonathan Duncan fifth, Zach Lockett sixth, Evan Patinko seventh, Cody Neal eighth, Brian Smith ninth, Charlie Widener rounding out the top 10, then Brad Delph, Cody Eldred, Patrick Colby, Mike Grinnell, and Adam Ball in the 15th position. Jacob Gladelich, Charlie Woods, Ryan Patty 18th, then Ethan Van Colley 19th, John McNeil 20th, Sean Purcell 21st, Jacob Smith, Anthony Tizio, Jake Champion, Nathan Brzezowski, Kyle Diaz, Robert Bloom, and Jake Roll. And then lastly, Hanover Fist, he did not start the race. And that's going to wrap it up for us here at SRM. Alan, do you have any closing thoughts for this one?
Well, look, Miles the Monster struck when he needed to, but, you know, Nathan Finnegan conquered the Monster Mile. But next week, we head to the rectangular-shaped Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I am, for one, excited. I can't wait to be there and see that, you know. But nonetheless, Shane, I'm ready to get out of here, man. It's time to go.
Yes, sir. A long day of racing between the In Real Life Dover and the great racing here at the Icon Cup Series. So we will see you next time. I'm Shane Cochran. He is Alan Bergen. We're Sim Racing Media here for the Icon Cup Series.